This is the Blueberry Barn in beautiful downtown Alma, Georgia, the blueberry capital of the state. And I sell anything blueberry. We would love for you to come and look at all the amazing products. You'd be shocked at how many things you can make with blueberries. My husband and I married 44 years ago, almost 45, and we moved to a farm in this county, Bacon County, and he was a row crop farmer. He had corn and soybeans. We had tobacco, and he had hogs. Well, in the late 60s, early 70s, everybody knew that tobacco was going out, and there was a push to find a new crop, something that could take the place of tobacco. So from the early 70s, farmers around here started growing a few blueberries, and my husband and I put in 10 acres. We have added on more acres and more acres until now we have about a 50-acre farm out in the county. And I was a school teacher for many years. And so when I retired 4 years ago, it was 2013, I felt led of the Lord to open this store. And this store just promotes blueberries. That's my passion, is to promote blueberries. They're so good for you. There's so many things you can do with them. And things have been going really well until last year. We had an extremely warm winter, very warm winter. In fact, I remember on Facebook, my friends, their kids were swimming in the swimming pool on Christmas Day. It was like in the 80s, Christmas. Well, it was warm throughout the winter. When February came along, everything started blooming. The pear trees, the flowers, the blueberries. We had our high bush that had bloomed, and they had just huge pods of green blueberries. Our rabbit eyes had bloomed. They were in full bloom. It looked like, we call it South Georgia snow. It's just beautiful. They're just full of white blooms. And I believe it was March the 15th or 16th, we had a freeze. At our home farm, it got down to 24 degrees. The only way you can save your berries at that point is if you have water. Like they used to do oranges back years ago. They put water on them, and it freezes them at 32 degrees, and it will not get any colder than that. So only those people who had that type of irrigation system were able to save any of their berries. And on our farm, we lost everything. We didn't pick the first berry. It was very, very sad, because after the freeze, it lasted 2 nights, but it was over. The first night, after about 2 hours, it was done. About 2 days later, when we walked out into that blueberry field, it was so sad, because they looked like raisins. All those green berries looked like raisins. And the blooms, they had all turned brown. So out of all the years we have done this is the first year we have seen both of them get wiped out. So Georgia last year in 17 was expected to have 100 million pounds of those little blueberries. That was the expectation. The number that I heard, I can't tell you this is the truth, but the number that I heard in the end was 22 million. So you can see the devastation that it caused across the state. We were fortunate at our home. We had ours insured. We had been farming long enough that we had some insurance, but that only covers you for about maybe a third of what you would have made if you could have gone to harvest with them. So last year was probably the worst year in my life that I have ever seen it hit the farm. So we're hoping for a much better year this year. The crop has been damaged some because we have had so much cold. Even since Easter, we've had some cold nights, so we have had some damage, but nothing like last year's. It's devastating, because that's everything hanging on that bush, and it's not there. It's very, very sad.